Hello and welcome everybody out there in Twitch and D&D land to my second try of making an ass of myself. Hope you're all going to enjoy the game today, and I am very ready for all of this. So, first on the note, we have open slots. Something I still need to update, and I've been saying for over a week. I need to update that pretty bad. These are different games that we have available for anybody to jump in on if they just want to. If you are interested in any of them, reach out and let me know. You can contact me directly on Discord or here on Twitch if that makes your life a little easier, or on YouTube or anywhere else that you find me. Speaking of which, this is where you find me, my medias. Yep, that's all of them. We also have projects that I work on the side. If you are interested in any of those, all you have to do is ask me about it. I'd be more than happy to talk about any of them and help anybody join in on the fun as well. But I believe that's everything we care to go over, so how about we just hunker down and enjoy the game. Where last we left off, the party experimented for a period of time with this portal, realizing its necromantic hold that it has on this world and how it was being infused with the power of the two bleeding hearts of the fallen halfling companions of Kothar. Now, after realizing that you can counteract necromancy with a little bit of life being infused into it, you started using whatever healing magics or potions you had at your disposal to shrink the portal to the size where you are not terribly threatened by anything trying to crawl out of there. You all did that. And then Hedge volunteered to stay down there, where Solaris gleamed that he had some form of ulterior motive, but he didn't seem sinister in this ulterior motive. You all accepted, went back upstairs, Kothar gathering up his fallen comrades, and took them onto the boats back to the beach. Once you made it there, you were introduced to a few more of these Blades of Light individuals, more Soonites, and described to them what was happening. Them being weary of all of you and not knowing you on a personal level, said that you are allowed to stay here while they go confirm what you are telling them. That there is a portal down there that Hedge is watching by himself. You all were under close watch in one of the tents, not given any privacy, and Kothar was the only person who decided to go back with him. Several of you took your rests, and then hours went by before Hedge and Kothar came back. Kothar walking deep into the surrounding forest in this area, outside of this peninsula. You all went and started discussing with Hedge. Hedge told you what happened, that a halfling individual in all black and robes seemed to be able to crawl out of the portal after he ran out of all of his healing capability. After that happened, he tried intimidating and talking to the individual, however that was fruitless, and he quickly got knocked unconscious, nearly dying in the process. If it wasn't for his dwarven fortitude, he probably would have. You all decided that that was pretty bad, but worst off in news was that one of these legendary artifacts that you have at your disposal, that you just got, Hedge told you that he was going to have to take it or work something out with all of you. Not wanting to be the deciding factor on this, you said you're going to wait until Kothar got back. And so you did, where Gabriel, after spending the entire long rest watching over N, and coincidentally everybody else, decided he was going to go to sleep. Immediately, no longer being supervised, N got the fantastic idea to bring up the idea that, hey, there's a giant fish and Rowan can go talk to it. So, you convinced the lieutenant of the guard that that was going to be a good idea somehow, and you went out onto the waters where you discovered a gigantic killer whale that was consuming things in this territory, claiming it as its own. Rowan, through her druidic nature, managed to coax this behemoth into listening to them and offering a truce. The people are welcome to give sacrifices to it in order to have safe travels through the territory, which is much better than either all of them dying or potentially this magnificent creature dying instead. It agreed, telling you all that there's some crocodiles that it would very much enjoy if people can get those to it. Seems to have a hankering and a desire to eat scaly reptilian creatures. It's kind of terrifying for a whale. But You made it back to the shoreline, where Gabriel was shaking his head in disappointment at all of you. Just glad that you all made it back safe and sound. At this time, Solaris decided he needed to go for a little enthusiastic walk, let's call it. Kothar showing back up at perfect timing at that moment. Literally, the moment you walked away, Sky, Zen showed up. You all were brought to Hedge's quarters, where he explained the situation and gave his deepest regrets and sorrows of the circumstance to him, telling him that this is the law, and the fact that anybody knows it's around means it needs to be watched by them. The Blades of Light need to have it. He did give you a very fair compensation, as well as a few bits of information that is being withheld by him specifically, as to the whereabouts of this halfling individual. Giving you something to look forward to, Kothar. So, job well done. You gathered back on your boat. Oh, Hansy was already paid off, so don't worry about that. You all went back to the shoreline, where you saw Lucifon was instructing people to lower down a newly established body that was being hanged by the pier and relocate it as a warning to somebody over in the entry to the port town as well. You know, pretty typical day here. You all approached and had a nice conversation with him, where he said that he found out that some of the information you gave him has proven to be fruitful, and he invited you all over to his home. Inside, you met the one person that Lucifon is afraid of, his wife, Luna. Now, I did misspoke last time we played. Her name is not Luna Morningstar. She did not take his name. She still has her last name, which is Melshade. So, you were invited to the home, where you found that they had some type of adorable cherub-looking child, literal in description, that Anne immediately became enchanted with. You all had a nice, relieving conversation and invited to dinner that was honestly fairly good, enjoyable, relaxing. Rowan only got threatened, I think, twice by Luna, so I mean, that seemed to be a very good situation at hand. And all of you were brought downstairs into the magnificent fighting pit that they have. Now, down there in the basement, you also saw that there was a plethora of liquor, wines, and ale from all over the territory. And Lucifon revealed that he is an ex-adventurer, and he and Luna met on the road somewhere. Very fascinating. He allowed you all to stay down here, help yourself to the drinks, but if you open a bottle of wine, you have to finish it. You know, that's pretty typical. However, you all found solace in sleeping in this area with a few nice little cots and looking at this very fond, retired adventurer's home. Now, while you were sitting at the dinner table, he did tell you a little bit of fun information that Solaris is not aware of yet, but Solaris, you did follow them. You were just full NPC mode. Just nod your head and say, So, the individuals that he was selling to are part of a cultist organization called the Darkin Society. Dark-I-N Society. Apparently, they're pretty evil, and they deal in blood magic. Some things that is very, very well kept under lock and key by the most sophisticated and knowledgeable mages in all of the territory. And he told you that they seem to have some type of presence out inside of the Gravestake territory. You were requested to go deal with them, and seeing the resemblance between the halfling individual that you all had to deal with and everybody else, you decided to agree to these terms and assist Luna and Lucifon with their problem. So, we come back to all of you waking up in the morning.
Do you know Shazad?
Hmm?
Who is Shazad?
Shazad?
Yeah, I had that written down.
Spell it, because you might be pronouncing it wrong.
Shaazad? I can spell it out only.
Shazad?
Yes.
I don't recall saying that word to you.
Oh. I have it written down, but okay. Gotcha.
No, that's not in any of my notes.
Oh, okay. Scratched it out.
But anyways. You're all waking up. Solaris, you've been awake for a couple hours longer than everybody else by this point. Kothar, you're currently playing Big Spoon to Gabriel lying inside of the fighting pit, the sand pit. And in some point during the night, he ended up naked.
Just gonna roll away.
Yep.
You can't roll away. Beefcake's on the other side, laying down.
I will squash. I will squash Beefcake.
You roll over, and all of you are immediately woken up to the as Beefcake just shoots off, squealing upwards. And I'm sorry, I can't do an actual squeal. That hurts.
Kothar, are you fucking with my boar?
I might eat the boar. Yes.
You're not gonna eat the boar.
Yeah. Anyways, are we still locked down here? I don't even know where to go.
We're not locked down here. We're just asked to stay down here until morning.
There's no lights. Is there any windows or anything, Jiro, that have lights like coming into the basement?
There are lanterns set up all over the place that have lights, but no windows or anything like that.
Sounds about right.
Wait. So where are we?
You are
We're
in the
in
basement
Lucifon
of
and Luna's
Lucifon's
basement.
home. And he locked you all
okay.
down here for the safety of his family. However, he did make it very clear that you're not prisoners or anything. He's just making sure his family's safe since he doesn't know you all on a personal level.
Okay, so okay.
Solaris,
You
you
know-
being awake for a couple of hours, you've heard footsteps up above you multiple times.
Okay.
Good morning, Solaris.
Morning, Kothar.
Yes. So we have an issue, to be brought up to Lucifon about the roaming herds and that they're gonna attack the cities if we don't find their lost families in a month.
This is just Sky. Did we ever tell Lucifon?
You
I don't
did.
remember doing.
Yeah, I think we did.
You did when he
We
came
did?
back over to all of you.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
so
I think we
okay.
did, yeah.
He
That's
came
why I
over
was
to the
curious.
inn with you, and then
Should
All right.
one of
should
you
we
spewed all the
handle-
information.
Should we
I think it
handle
might have been
that?
me. Well, we don't have that solid of a lead, but we could try. I'm not against it.
We could always go and talk to their elders. That might help. I believe they said we'd be welcome there if you all go with me.
Yes, I remember them saying that we better be well behind you, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So,
Oh, this should be interesting.
during your conversation, you hear latches and chains being relinquished from the door upstairs, and it opens up. I swear to God, that goddamn man. And Luna starts walking down the stairs. Hi. I
Morning.
apologize. My husband's a bit brutish at times. I don't know why he locked you down here.
There's plenty of wine. We weren't gonna die of thirst, at least.
I thought it was to protect us from you.
Only if you did something stupid would you need protection from me. You're not stupid, are you, Gabriel?
Not usually, no.
Well, then you're fine.
Standing there naked.
Whatever. By this,
Oh,
by
yeah.
this time, by this time he's gotten dressed.
Oh, you definitely have your loincloth on by now. So, did you have a fine evening last night?
In is
Pretty-
like finally moving, and like their tails twitching, and there's like over their face, and there's like 4 bottles around them.
I'm glad you drank
Yeah.
your fill.
He said we could have any. I don't,
I'm sure he did. Very generous
Oh.
man, isn't he?
Oh, were they not his to give?
No, I mean, they're ours. We share. Everything that is his is mine, and everything that mine is his.
Well, thank you for your hospitality.
No problem
Yes.
at all.
Thank you.
Of course. Breakfast is prepared. We have cinnamon roll flat cakes already made for you. You can take them on your way out.
Easy enough. Thank
Sounds delicious, actually.
Thank you. So, you all head upstairs.
Give our regards to your husband if we don't see him.
Oh, he already went off to work. Apparently, there was somebody prowling around businesses last night.
Oh,
It's typical.
typical. Well, is everyone up at this point?
Oh yeah, all of you have been awake.
Okay.
you. Rowan
Okay.
was asleep in a ball.
Everyone's just quietly standing at the back of the group.
Furthest point away from her.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well then fine, come on. You can't wait around here all day. And what would people think if we saw a menagerie of interesting looking people leaving our home? They think we're some type of swingers or something.
You keep good company. That's all. And I'm gonna head past her and go up the door.
So you
Are
all
you
head
not?
upstairs, and for any of you who don't know what cinnamon roll flatcakes are, it's where you take a square pancake that's very thin, put a layer of butter and cinnamon sugar over top, and roll it up. They're so fucking good.
I do that with tortillas.
That's probably really good.
It is.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Wow. That's kind of like a cheap churro. Huh.
Yeah, cheaper version, yeah.
Yeah. All right, I have goals now. Thank you. But anyways, so all of you make it upstairs
All right.
and grab 2 or 3 of these rolls on your way out, and she brings you over to the door and escorts you. As you're passing by, those of you with the higher passives, you do notice in that same common room that you first met her, Claire is currently playing, and there appears to be some floating bow tie holding her hands and dancing from side to side with her. Solaris, you are very familiar with the Unseen Servant.
Ah,
Before In gets to the door, they're gonna look at Luna and ask in Infernal, would it be inappropriate to offer a gift for Claire as we depart?
Roll Persuasion.
$15.
Go ahead. She seemed to like you.
Cool.
So In would come into the playroom and pop off one of the chains on the back of their horns and use mending to put it back, and like part of it back. And we'll come up to Claire and kind of kneel down and be like, "Hey, we're leaving for a little while. We're going to be helping out your parents with a few things, but I wanted to say goodbye before we left."
Oh, okay.
And I had something for you.
She immediately gets very excited.
And In will wrap the chain around her wrist as a bracelet and mend the ends back together so that she would have a bracelet out of those chains.
Ooh. She starts jingling it around.
All right. Well, we'll see you. We'll see you soon. Okay.
Yeah. She nods and immediately goes back to jingling.
And so I'll come back to the door, just like kind of a little sad that they're having to say goodbye.
She smiles and goes, "Thank you all again. And of course, if anything develops in that area, I will contact you directly. Is that fair?"
Understood.
Good. Well, goodbye then.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you for everything.
Of course. Oh, one other side note, Solaris. Something I forgot to mention because it will be important for your character to know this. Lucifon and Luna both asked/threatened you all to not tell anybody they live here.
Okay.
But hours
Sounds
before
good.
that, everybody told Hedge that they lived there. But anyways, continue.
All right. So, what are we doing next?
Well, we have
Next
two
step.
options. One, we go to whatever this grave stake is. Or one, we go to the whatever this group is, the clans that are out here, and help them out. Maybe
And
they
what
have
do you
something
want to
to do.
Do you think that they'll have more information about where people are taking their children, their people?
They could know of where they're being captured. You're a fairly smart guy, Solaris. I mean, you could put two and two together based off of, I don't know, patterns.
I might be able to, yes.
Rowan, do you have the maps?
Yeah, I think I got them in my pack.
Do you know how long it would take us to get to Gravestake? Or anywhere?
Do I know
Not really.
how long it would take us to get to Gravestake or anywhere, Gerald?
Describe anywhere. Because you know how long it takes you to get down the road. So where is anywhere?
Hey,
That's a
Kothar,
very good question.
when you say anywhere, what do you mean by anywhere?
I don't know. I mean, could be here, could be... Are we talking about time? Are we talking about place? It's kind of... we shouldn't get into this philosophical thing. I don't know why I said that. Ignore the anywhere.
And remind me again. I'm sorry, I've been a bit distracted lately. What's in Gravestake, and why do we need to go there?
Gravestake is where the Darkened Society that is threatening Lucifon and his family.
Okay.
That's out here.
We can say
I
you're
believe-
having this conversation secluded from others if you want.
Thank God.
Yes.
Just in the middle of town, the Darkened Society.
And
I remember now. Thank you.
yes, and I think it was closer to Weldon Top was where the people are being taken. That's the idea that we...
So,
Yeah, I think we've done that.
since it's been several weeks since we dealt with that, the area that you met with the individuals, if you all look on the map, I'm going to be using Thule to represent it. This is where you met them, around here.
Mm-hmm.
They said their tribe and other tribes' people have been taken in this area.
That's a large area.
Yes, it is. However, all of them, as far as all of you can tell, would have had to go in this general direction, which there is a very small
Deep
town.
Yard.
No, Deep Yard is down this way.
Just been heading towards Deep Yard.
Okay. The people
If you
being
loop
taken.
around the planet,
Yeah. If you go the long way, you'll get there. But yes, somewhere in that territory, they're being gathered up. So the tribe that you spoke to, Kothar, they're out in this general area, not terribly far away, within a day's travel, easily. On foot, of course. And you all still have... No, you don't have horses in a cart anymore. You had to give them over as part of the trade deal. However, you might be able to afford them now, I think.
We had to go to a bank to get that money out, though.
And that would be in Deep Yard as the closest location.
Correct. Because I believe N has the amount of money we're gonna get.
Yeah, I've got the bank slip, but we did
How much is
receive a whole bunch of platinum as well.
We did. I
Mhm.
don't know if I was here for that.
We split it up
No.
evenly. It's 6 platinum.
It's on your
Oh
character
wait, yeah,
sheet.
I got it. Yep,
Yeah.
I got it.
Which is 60 gold, which is enough between all of you to buy horses and a carriage if you desire. Or other animals too, if you're into that, you know.
You buy oxen because horses don't seem to like me very much.
Considering where you're at right now, you can buy oxes or elephants.
What?
Oh my god.
Now, elephants are stupidly expensive, but you can buy them.
I assume that, yeah.
And to keep them going, the amount of food they'd eat.
Mm-hmm.
They consume 4 rations a day.
Yeah.
Are there mules?
Yeah, probably.
And those could be a cute option, you guys.
Are we going for cute now, Rowan?
Well, I mean, it'd be nice to have some companionship with the animals. Those horses had a lot of attitude.
We don't need those particular horses, though.
Those horses were all business, I think, Rowan.
Beefcake snorts several times and rose up against Rowan.
Yes.
Oh, is Beefcake offering to pull a cart?
Rowan,
He is a
Rowan
boar.
cast Beefcake.
He's not a giant boar, but he is a boar.
He turns toward Kothar and squeals real loud.
Don't squeal at me, freeloader.
So,
Well, I think the first act is if we're here, we might as well go talk to the elders.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that's the closest thing.
for a better scope on how to get to Deep Yard, from where you all are, you are currently in this general location. The elders are somewhere out here. Kothar, you can find them.
Okay. Yeah,
It
I
should only
believe that
take
they were
you
in
a
a
day's
village, I
travel.
remembered.
Yes, it should only take you days of travel. There are only 2 ways into Deep Yard. The first way is airship, which is very expensive. You would have to go from Weldon Top or any of the other capitals, or pay somebody who happened to be in an area with an airship to get there. Or, what you have to do instead is to go over to the Tanglewood in this area, and they have teleportation circles set up between its territory and all the other ones.
So you can't just walk into Deep Yard?
Now, the story around Deep Yard is the forestation surrounding it is inhospitable to people and full of monstrosities that will rip apart and devour anybody who threatens to cross through their path. There are no roads, and that is one of their safety precautions that they have from everybody. Also, Solaris, 2d20, please. You're important.
Ah,
New day.
yes.
Take advantage of that shit. All right, it's going to be a good day. It's
Okay.
going to be a good day.
So we just gonna walk to Deep Yard, or
Well,
Kothar, even you know better than that.
I don't. I mean, I didn't know ferry ships were around then. So.
Right, but you know the forest.
Oh yeah.
That's full of nope.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Maybe we go under. Yeah, we're level
I mean, I'm not sure. We have different options here, but what's a priority for us? I mean,
4.
what can we get from these elders? And is it worth taking the time to talk to them? If not,
I mean,
should
are
we
you
find?
guys people that worry about others, or don't really know what your morals fall into? If you know that they might kill somebody later on, does that cause you to want to help them, or just?
I think, honestly,
definitely-
if we're looking at it, maybe a week more looking through the area and finding out. They said that we didn't have to bring their people back, only give that if we gave them information that led to their return.
Yes.
And the representative that you met, did tell you all that you may want to speak to the elder about the information.
Yeah.
More
All right.
specifically.
Okay.
It's on the way back home, back to Umbridge. So I mean,
Let's see what we can glean from these elders. I'm sure that they have something for us, at least. And then find these missing people. I'm not sure what else I'll be able to do when we're searching in such a large area, but maybe these elders can narrow the search.
So we're going to Tanglewood.
no, we are going into the woods down in this area to find the elders of the clans.
I'm on board with that.
Alrighty.
Rowan, you
Alright.
would actually get along with
If
them
we're-
fairly well, I think.
If we're leaving town, let's get horses first. Stop by the hotel.
Could we get a cart?
Did we
me
not-
and a horse doesn't.
Didn't we already have one?
Nope. You
It was
had
part of the
that.
trade.
Yeah, that was part of the trade.
right,
yeah.
right.
So
Okay.
you had
Feel
it for
bad
getting
for the
here,
beast.
but you didn't pay anything for it. So,
All right. How much is a general cart worth?
if you want just a standard cart, that is 15 GP. However, for the party size, a wagon is more reasonable, which is 35
Alright.
GP. Unless you want people to have to walk all the time.
I'll put down some. I'll
So,
put down 2
Right.
platinum pieces.
Does
so-
that include horses? Does
Nope.
buying the
One
wagon?
second, I'm getting there.
Right.
35 GP for a wagon. If you want a horse, that is a draft horse, that is 50 GP. It is the slowest of all the horses, but they are meant to drag heavy weight.
And then,
Then you need
That
the barbing, the bit,
versus-
the brittle, and all that fun jazz.
okay,
Why-
so there's that versus just getting individual horses or, horses.
Correct.
Why
Two
do
horses.
we need it? Why do we need a wagon?
Well, how's
Oh, we could carry goods.
your little
and-
friend gonna get around?
He can. He has feet. He can walk.
Well, I think Kothar has a point, as speaking as the other red member of this party.
Yeah.
I think, especially if we start to leave this part of the world having some ability to not be seen on the road for the two of us will be helpful.
Plus, what if it rains?
It's a
Alrighty.
very good question. I think a wagon is necessary.
So, what I
think
would
so.
recommend is 2 draft horses and a wagon, or you could get an elephant and a wagon. I'm only offering this because it's very rare to be in a place where you can buy elephants.
How much is an elephant?
200 gold.
And we're not getting an elephant.
I had to ask. It's just so
And has their own
extra.
money.
It's so N.
It's a little.
Can we bedazzle it?
I'm
This-
thinking-
Like this stuff for
I mean,
the horn.
rugs
is-
over it, matching chains like I have. It would have been perfect.
There's
We're gonna
this
sing
thing
Prince
called
Ali.
There's this thing called stealth that we might want to be able to employ, which we can't exactly do with an elephant.
So do you want to go with the draft horses then?
Yes, and then Anne's gonna keep it in the back
Yeah,
of
let's
her
do
head.
that.
The elephant.
Okay. So
We'll be back. We'll be back.
Mhm.
that is going to be 4 GP, 39 plus 100. So you're looking at 139 GP plus however much you want to spend on feed. 5 copper per day worth of feed per horse. So you're looking at 1
that's-
silver a day to maintain your horses.
Okay, so we've got a little bit in the party loot.
Maybe we should get like a week's worth of feed.
Yeah. And if we find a farm, we can always stop there and take it, or I'll just give them some like money for it.
Sure.
We'll get the money
It's
for
an
it.
option.
So that'll be 7 silver on top of that. So 139
Okay.
gold total, 7 silver.
All right.
Okay. So let's take the silver out of the party funds.
Yes.
I'll go ahead and hop in and do that.
All right. Also, and point of order, they do have exotic saddles for these horses too.
So is there a practical benefit to these exotic saddles?
You look fabulous, and you can put things in the pockets.
Is there a
Your
negative?
horses, like your outfits, could have pockets.
Is there a negative effect on stealth if you have these saddles?
Not in
We already have a
particular.
wagon.
Well,
Yeah, not in particular.
my other question is with stirrups. Would there be any that work with hooves,
I'm sorry?
just in case?
Oh, for something like that,
Stirrups?
you would need an exotic saddle. If you want to
Okay.
ride the horse and use your hooves, you would need an exotic saddle.
Okay,
Then
what all
it's practical
salesmen
for you
say.
to get one.
yes.
That's what-
So
that's what
and
all
if I use
salesmen
that
say.
logic, so it was 139 gold, and then
7
what would
silver.
it be?
Uh,
We got the 7 silver out of the party loot.
yep. That would be 60 GP for an exotic saddle.
So 199.
However, you get to tell me what this saddle looks like and special features it may have. It's exotic.
Don't do that to me, Jiro. Don't do that.
Drain the coffers.
Does it have a eject function?
It's like the DM starting to realize who the players are.
So what? Okay, so we've got. If we do the exotic saddle, N would cover that.
Okay.
So that
So,
makes 60.
Yep.
Okay, so that just takes care of all the platinum I just earned. And then what is the remaining cost? The 139?
The 139, 7 silver. Yep.
Okay.
Well, the 7s are covered, so that'd be 27.8 gold per person.
27 gold, 8 silver per person. And that covers you. You all still have the rations on your character sheets, so you should be good with that.
Cool. I put down the gold for me.
And a platinum is 10 gold.
Platinum is 10 gold, that is correct.
So it's 27 and a half gold.
27.8, so 8 silver.
Oh, God. I put two.
I had to get
put
my
it in
calculator
Electrum.
out, and then I completely forgot the number in between all that.
You do not have Electrum, don't worry about that.
I
It doesn't
know,
exist
I
in this
actually-
game.
I actually put it on Electrum. I'm like, nobody uses that.
Nobody uses that crap.
Okay.
So,
Gabriel pitches in.
everybody
20.
deducted?
Yeah.
Good. Well then, you have 2 unnamed horses, a wagon that is perfectly functioning, that End can make tighter and better by mending it over time, of course. As well as a custom saddle for End specifically that will be described in the near future.
Very near future, because I have unlimited access to Pinterest, so...
There you go. Of course, be reasonable. Your saddle does not shoot freaking laser beams.
Could you imagine?
It's a rainbow unicorn. Look. So anyways, you all gather your things and start heading into the forest. Kothar, give me a survival check.
Boy. 7.
Okay. It's gonna take you a while to get there, but you'll get there.
Memory's a bit foggy.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
And you are leading in front of the wagon, correct?
Yeah, because they said they'd kill them if I wasn't.
So, and you can be up in this front seat, no problem. You fit in here. Everybody else, hide.
I turn into a wolf.
That only lasts an hour.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, you could do it when you're closer to them if you would like, but...
I'll consider it.
Yes. You still need like 10 more levels before you can just be it forever.
Alright.
But anyways, you all start traveling out there, and you are in the wide open forestation surrounding this area. There's a few different plots of land that look like farms were being prepared, but never fully developed in this area. Walking through, the wildlife is flourishing. There are many different doe and deer prancing and frolicking around the area, having a very grand time. You even see fattened woodland creatures surviving off this area as well. Very lush and delicious looking, in fact. I mean, who doesn't love rabbit stew? As you begin pushing through this area, Kothar, you start noticing the telltale signs of this type of community and living, and in fact, Rowan, you start noticing it as well, as everything seems to be written in your secret little language, Druidic. It's just simple markings to tell of their clan and their existence here. The tribe loving everything here. 2 hours per. Well, you've just entered into the territory. Yeah.
Yep.
Do you want to shape change now, or?
Wait, the druidic stuff was just pretty generic.
No, it's telling you that you've entered into somebody else's territory.
Okay.
Is it the markings of... Rowan, can you read that? I don't know what the scribbling is.
Yeah, it says that we've entered someone's territory. I can't tell who. Right, Gerald? I can't tell who wrote it. There's no name.
No. It's just somebody's territory.
The wilds of Kelshan.
Ah, now that he says it, you are in the wilds.
Okay. Because we did talk about they were the wilds of Kelshan from their other territorial markings from another session.
Yes. So, you have now entered into their territory fully.
Cool.
You start moving through the area, and it's very calm, it's very peaceful. And eventually, Kothar, you start... Not Kothar, sorry. Rowan. You start hearing the brushing of tree leaves in the area. The quickened footsteps from further away, and the sound that you are being tracked right now. Which is typical when you enter into somebody else's territory. Unless you are invited, you are treated like an outsider that is also treated like prey.
Can I tell anything about it? Like if it's predatory or more curious?
You're being watched by these people. They're not being aggressive towards you. You're just being watched.
Okay, I won't say anything for now, but I'll keep an ear on it.
All right. So, After about an hour more traveling in this area, Kothar, you finally realize that you're kind of like lost. You're in their territory, you just don't know where their home is. Typically speaking, they don't keep their home in one place, they move it inside of their territory as they need to.
Interesting.
Could I send, just for the hell of it, I summon Thule and send him into the air to just kind of like, just look around, above the trees.
Have Thule roll a perception check.
You all are pretty good at tracking compared to me, Rowan and Solaris.
Dirty 20.
Did the Dragonborn get us lost?
Potentially. So
Do I know this area?
I'm sorry?
Do I know this area? Would I know if we're lost?
You
or on
wouldn't
track?
know it personally, but you might be able to navigate. You can roll a survival if you want.
Okay.
Rowan, look for tracks, see if you can smell anything.
Alright,
Does Thule
23
see
and a dirty
anything?
20.
Oh, does she not have advantage on smell?
Nope.
Maybe not any smell or anything? Oh, darn.
Nope. She's not in puppy form. But anyways.
Oh, yeah.
Thule starts circling around the grand scope of this area and can easily discern the whereabouts of a small fire. It's a thick, cloudy smoke, so it is man-made.
Alright.
So you discern that. Rowan starts pulling you in a slightly different direction, walking on a more normalized path that you can associate with entry to the front door, whereas the direct point that Solaris's companion was going to take you would have been the side entrance, which is a little rude, and if you don't know somebody personally. So you start walking through that area, and as you begin approaching a bit more closely, you all become aware of the presence of Goliaths walking but 50 yards away from you, just watching and moving alongside as you move.
Don't do anything reckless. Yeah? Just be friendly. Just kind of looks at him. Hello. Just go waves.
They just keep staring at you. But as you approach closer, you do find a row of wooden fences, completed with sharpened tipped points at the very top, and a slight drawbridge. And outside of that appears to be a short moat of water. Rowan, you swear you see two green beady eyes shoot out of the water and watch and floats on. Holy shit, that's loud. Thank you. But anyways, as you get over to the drawbridge, which is currently fully up, one of the individuals that's been following after you approaches up directly to you, Kothar. Walks over, holding their great axe at their side. Do you have business here?
Sorry. Okay, don't know. We were... It's been a long time, honestly. Yes, I'd like to speak to the elders. We've heard about your situation.
Who are you?
Kothar.
We don't know you.
They might know me.
Then who are you?
I fought for a god for a little bit. It was a long time ago. Listen, if you just go get your elder, let him know, and he's gonna like lean closer in to like, come here. Just gonna whisper something to him.
Yep. And since you're nosy and you're up front, roll a perception check.
Gable is watching all this stealthily through a crack in the canopy or something.
Yep. 14. Kothar, roll sleight of hand. See how quiet you can be.
Ooh, stealth. Nice. 12.
Okay, and you hear what Kothar says. Kothar, please whisper that to N. Oh. One moment.
Is it whisper?
Yes. Or /W space N type. They go over to the wall and they whistle loudly, and you see a few individuals like pop up over it holding out different bows and arrows all fixated on your group, and he gestures for them to lower it. And at that time, about 4 individuals walk out from the forest and surround the wagon and start poking their heads inside of it.
They're with me. It's fine.
Gable just frowns at whoever sticks his head in.
One of the Goliaths looks inside, and the one in front of you just raises his voice. Weapons stay out.
That's fair. That is fair.
Don't have any friends.
Don't do magic either.
Understood.
That was implied. Thank you, Kothar.
Do you all relinquish your weapons?
Yeah. It's kind of hard to hide a great axe.
Gabriel?
Gabriel reluctantly gives over his sword.
Rowan?
Can Rowan look at one of the Goliaths and say, "Can I just keep the rusty one? It doesn't really work. It's sentimental."
They hold their hand out.
Can Rowan try to like wink at one of them?
You could try, but they are on duty. They're not typical guards. These are protecting their family here.
All right, Rowan will cough it up.
All right, they take all of them and they just stick them in the ground outside, just unceremoniously, leaving them right there. And then the drawbridge lowers and the wagon is escorted inside. As you get in, they take the tarp over the top and flip it off, allowing all of you to jump out and enter in. Now, aside from Kothar and Rowan, none of you have ever been inside of a tribe's village before. The homes are all small, but calm, peaceful, nice. They're mostly made out of random pelts of animal skin. A few of them have more ostentatious drawings attached to them, and they're fairly big. They look like they're not the most well-crafted things out there, but they serve the purpose for these individuals that don't care about the niceties of life. You also notice that they have many different individuals walking and going about their business. They have people weaving baskets, people currently cooking food, other ones melting down different metals and seeing to shift it into arrow-tipped heads that they're working on. As you all begin walking in, there is a much larger tent that you're being escorted towards by these 4 Goliaths. Now, the ones that you met outside are far bigger than the ones inside. They seem to be the ipso facto protectors of this little tribe here. And you think the general population of them is only about 20 to 30 at best. It's not a very large number of individuals. Of course, the number may increase. These are just the ones you see. And as you're being brought over to this large Indian-style tent, the flaps are opened upwards, and you're being escorted in. Immediately inside, you look around at the very lovely-looking pelts, the furs of different animals, lying around as blankets and as tapestries for these individuals. A few ostentatious heads of beasts of prey that they may have triumphed over the top of are being littered around as well on makeshift shelves and little tiny cabinets. As you're escorted in, there are 2 individuals inside this tent. The first one is a fairly small-looking Goliath woman, shaved head completely, tattoos streaking from on top of her eyebrows all the way down her scalp, and they seem to be systematic black-looking lightning all across her, stretching down. And where it fades underneath the shirt, you see they continue stretching down the forearms and all the way to the hands as well, marking her very ostentatiously as some type of position. Hello, kitty. Yes, you want to show everybody your asshole. We get it. Sorry, y'all can't see it, but yeah. You're good. So, you see that individual, and she's smaller than most of the other Goliaths. She's only about 6'7" at best. She's big, larger than most of you, but still, Kothar, you make her look small, of course. And she's holding some type of thick scimitar with no sheath on her side, just holding it with the one hand and grabbing her wrist with the other one, staring at each of you. Very, very protective in nature. And right by her side is an old, and I mean very old, looking Goliath woman with an extended nose stretching downwards and what appears to be ceremonious markings of swirls and puffs against her cheeks stretching up over her head, where she has two tight braids tucked into her hair being pulled all the way back and draping past her shoulders. And those same markings, in the same way as the other one has the lightning marks, she has the deep swirls going across her face, body, and down her arms as well. And she is just holding a single staff that has a purple gem at the top of it, as all of you are walking in.
Kothar, I don't know, me myself don't know what the proper gesture would be, but
subtract the gold. You would have known to buy a fine piece of meat as a gift. They only like practical things.
Yeah, that.
So.
Take that out and hand it to them.
You bring it over, and immediately the lightning-stripped one steps forward and takes it from you and offers it to the other, who takes it and sniffs the meat, very inhaling it, and places it down on a little table and looks inside.
It is kind of the Lockheed to allow us entry into their home.
It is kind for the protectors to come back. It has been a while. My
Feels like
great-grandmother spoke of you fondly.
it's been a while.
And who are all these? They don't match any of our written history.
She starts walking with her staff and looking at each of you and evaluating.
The protectors have grown a bit thin, and the ranks needed to be swelled again.
You are all new protectors?
Yes.
Not initiated yet, but they're helping. So
In training, we're interning.
She walks over to N and kind of just looks at your horns, not touching them, just looking around, seeming to gleam the very subtle carvings that you have naturally imbued into them.
When she comes close to Big Cake, he just stands tall and snorts proudly.
She looks down and goes,
Another offering.
yes, indeed.
I am joking.
No.
Well, these ones are interesting.
walks past N and goes to you, Gabriel, and feels around, grabs your biceps, squeezing it, grabs onto your forearms, your chest, and pushes against it to get a feel for you. She has fairly strong hands, and she seems to be evaluating your mass and prowess right now. Closely.
He just silently stands there and looks back at her.
Then she circles around over to you, Solaris, and doesn't grab your arms, but instead pinches your chin and lifts you up to look at her. She's even smaller than the other one beside her, only being about 6'5", but you still have to stretch your neck to look up at her. And as she looks at your eyes and looking at you and grabs your wrist and looks at your hands and gleams a little bit of insight into you, she kind of just throws your hand away, a little disgruntled at you. And then she walks over to Rowan. She turns her head, takes your wrist, flipping, and feels the calluses in your hand, grabs your arm, measuring your physical prowess and strength, and then grabs that braid in your hair with the single leaf tied into it.
Oh. One of you has already been initiated.
Kothar, you're completely taken aback by this. Nope.
What? No.
She
The
gestures
process
to the leaf.
The
Looks over.
process is to be chosen by one of the forgotten. One of the protectors.
But there has to be contact.
You've been in contact with this one, correct?
Looks at
Nope.
Rowan.
You're lying. You don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm sorry I don't. I'm really bad in social situations. Some lady gave this leaf to me. I just took it.
Just talk honestly when here. It's the best way to handle us.
Rowan, you talked. Do you
What?
not realize who you may have talked to?
I don't read a lot of books.
You don't need to read. I don't think they're going to be in any books anymore.
Who was it? Who gave me this leaf?
That's from the tree, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but the tree didn't bend over and give it to me.
She may
True.
have.
What did this person look like, Rowan?
She had these little, baby deer horns. It was a while ago, and I just remember we were sitting by the fountain, by the tree.
Wait,
and-
you were by the fountain.
Yeah, I mean, I sat on the fountain. She had part of her foot in the fountain.
There's guards there that are always there.
Yeah, I remember looking at them. They weren't really paying attention.
She had antlers.
Yeah,
Anything else?
like ones that were a little more dainty. I remember that she just disappeared at kind of the end of our conversation.
So she wants to test you. Well, welcome. It is an honor to meet somebody who's been chosen by one of them.
Thanks.
You must have done a great honor for her.
I guess.
Well
The
then,
last selection hasn't been for a long time.
very long time. But if they are beginning recruitment, that is good. I cannot... There's not many of the old ones that still have any amount of worship towards them. Yggdrasil, she would. All of
Does that
your
mean-
family and friends, looks at the other ones, would have erased her from knowledge, of course.
And any of the others as well.
All but eradicated now.
Do you know where they might be?
The knowledge of them or them?
Them themselves.
Not here.
Oh.
They can't keep hold of this plane unless, of course, they have people to follow them, to worship them. They gain power through this. That's why the Great Wars were so devastating to us Outlanders. All but eradicated the knowledge and kept secrets of them. But
They were
anyways,
quite devastating. We heard you had issues here.
we do. And I thank the Old Ones for bringing you here in this troubling time. She takes 2 steps back. I am the Cloud Weaver. This is my daughter. The other one just nods her head towards each of you. Kothar, you would be aware that Cloud Weaver is the title of the one who oversees the tribe. The one who is in charge of them, the authority of them. Always appointed to the eldest of all of them.
Is it a matriarchal society, or is it...
Not in particular. It's always the strong survive and live, and whoever lives the longest becomes this person.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. The society is always ran by the strongest, but it flips between anybody.
Yep.
We have gathered the assistance of many of the other tribes in this area, the big and the small alike. And we have gathered a force of over 100 volunteers. Now, my nephew informs me that he met you but a few days ago, Botha.
Ah, the big one out on the... He was out on the road, yeah. Big chap.
I hope he was not too terribly offensive. He is not keen on his studies. He's more keen with his blade.
No, he's very straightforward.
Good. Then he listened in some of his studies. Then, he asked me to hold off on the attack. And has given you 1 month's time.
It's very wise of you to do that. I think
It is wise if we have somebody we can trust to help
one's
us.
responsible.
But if you are not going to help us, it is a naive decision I am making that may prove fatal to my position here. However, if I am to fall, my daughter would be fantastic in my stead, and your little villages and towns will perish by her hand. She is favored among Moonlair.
Can I roll a religion check on that?
Please do. As well as Solaris. Solaris, your camera crapped out again.
10.
So. Alrighty. Dirty 20. The name does not strike you as particularly familiar, Solaris. But looking at the tribal markings, it belongs to a religion that is only written as the Ruination.
an individual who had commandment over the weather, the storms, and the clouds, and was devastating to the warriors and champions of the Blades of Light on their crusades to destroy all of the evil gods, as history has written. Now, you are a very well-studied individual, and considering your current company, you understand that not history is written by the victor. Does not mean it's always written truthfully. So, the ruination is what they wrote that individual down as. So, you say you are here to help us, and that is good. You came here to listen to me, and that is wise. However, we will not tolerate these actions against our kind, our people. I thought the civilized folk were past the point of slaving.
Cable gets tense at that.
So, you are here for my knowledge on what is happening. They attack in daylight,
Indeed.
while our warriors are hunting to feed us. They penetrate the tribe, over the walls, cast a few spells, and see who falls asleep. Fall asleep, they stuff you in a bag that doesn't seem like you should fit inside of it. And then they go away. The attacks happen in intervals of time. And they always attack different and random. Don't know which tribe they attack and when, but they seem to target the smaller ones, the ones with less safety in numbers. I have the head of one. They came here. She gestures towards her daughter, who walks over to the side and pulls a thick head off the shelf. Has been completely gutted and mostly relinquished from all of the goo and guts on the inside. However, the skin is still pulled against the face itself, and brings it and drops it on the ground, where you notice it appears to be some type of high elf individual. Solaris, N, and Gabriel. History, please.
History.
For not having a modifier, I actually roll really well for history.
Yeah, it's been your thing. And Rowan's thing is rolling shitty on anything they're good at, so... I think you're the counterbalance. But anyways.
Ouch.
I'm the Taliesin to, what is his name? Can't remember. The one guy who keeps...
Percy.
Yeah, no,
Will Wheaton.
yes, Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton, yeah. Terrible luck. But anyways, we'll start with Gabriel. You recognize the two scars under the eye as being a marking from the same group of individuals who you have influence with in your backstory. Or who had influence with you, more appropriately. But that's about all. You don't recognize the individual personally. And you also do not recognize the individual personally. However, considering the way that the hair is pulled back and there's two braids cut in, looking at it, these don't seem like the type of people who are going to braid a dead person's hair. They don't seem that fucked up. So looking at that, you kind of glean that this individual is from a noble home in Selderon Fion. One that your father might have had dealings with in the past. Sky. Not Sky. Solaris. I'm just gonna change your name on here so I stop doing that. There we go.
Oh,
Solaris. 1 second. The DC was 18. You know, I should be prepared for you to have these DCs met all the time.
is what I like best.
Oh, I know things. I know all the things. So, this individual is familiar to you as... let me answer Gabriel. Gabriel, I'll answer you in a second, okay? I just need to tell Sky his thing. This individual you recognize as being one of the family members to a very, very noble home. The home of Basio. Now, you may remember from last night, one of the bottles of wine that you opened up that was a couple hundred years old was Basio. Some of the most expensive and fairly made wine in all of Salem. This appears to be someone you would recognize from a few different social events that happened, but someone who wasn't terribly well known. So he's definitely not the head of the family, but considering he was at almost all of the events that they would go to and all the showings, more than likely you can discern that he is a probably either a son or a brother to one of the leaders of the Basio family. Also,
Right.
He did study underneath you for a short period of time, but got too frustrated with his lack of aptitude and quit. You just can't remember his name.
Interesting. All right.
I should probably tell you the family leader since it is written in the Sutter on Fion thing. Miguel Basio is the family leader. Not this person, pointedly. Gabriel, I will whisper to you. Yes.
All right.
There you go, Gabriel. So, you all look at that, and Kothar, you're handed the head directly, and you can hold it by the hair and look at it, and yeah, this is an elf.
Yep.
Gabriel holds his hand out to get this head.
Just tosses it.
Gabriel grabs it and looks at the scars closely before passing it back to the daughter. Was it?
Yes. She takes it from you and places it down directly in front of her, just unceremoniously. No amount of respect. This individual came here and tried to attack us. Seeing my daughter as small, thought she was easy prey. She is quick. And the daughter just bows her head.
Before that you believed that civilized people were above slavery, but I'm familiar enough with the braids on this to know that it's from what would be considered the most civilized, but their actions speak differently.
And tell me, where is this place?
In Seldaron Fion, but the city itself is much larger than what even 100 of your people could destroy. As much as I feel for you,
She stands up a bit straighter, seeing a little A little offense by that. Taking a little offense.
Not that I doubt their strength or their skill. It's simply a matter of numbers.
Well then, we will see. Regardless, you have a month. The men and women have volunteered from the tribes to do this. If they die, they die. We've made our peace.
Alright.
I understand not showing weakness in this time and allowing them to continue to do this without any repercussions would show weakness, so I understand the actions that you are taking, but do you really feel that attacking settlements that may have nothing to do with this being the proper course of action?
What other choice do we have? Allow them to come in? Or maybe we should reach out to the Blades of Light. Have them help us like they did in the past.
Oh, I don't suggest that one.
Well,
You know how I feel about them.
if they are incapable of policing their own people, we can police them.
The scars of that one, the scars from the head are from slavers from Weldon Top. If you're going to direct your anger anywhere, it would probably be there.
Weldon Top. That is the mountain city, correct?
Correct.
We can handle that one. She gives a little smile at that.
I'm not sure if the entire city is responsible.
More responsible than the townships around here.
Yes. But what if we were to help find the specific people that are doing this instead of them destroying an entire mountain settlement?
You are a little quiet. I don't know if anybody else could hear you, but I could hear you.
Sorry, I said we could do our best to find the specific people that are doing this to prevent them possibly destroying an entire mountain settlement.
And that is why we've allowed you to disgrace our lands with your boots. To have this conversation. You have a month.
Help.
If you can help, you will be considered an ally to our people. And your face will be recorded in our murals.
Understood.
It used to be that I was considered an ally prior to these.
You are. They are outsiders. The reason their boots are here is you. If you all would like to stay here, and you've been traveling for like 8 hours at this point, you all like to stay here, you are welcome. Your weapons will be retrieved and left in my tent under my supervision.
We appreciate you allowing us to stay in one of your tents tonight.
She stands up a bit more straight and walks back over towards a small little container. It's a floor-set vase, or vase, however you want to pronounce it, only about 3 feet in height. And when she reaches in, she stretches and then withdraws a snake that's coiled around her arm with 2 wings stretching out from it. She aims it outwards, and it floats and just flies and hovers around each of you. Your sentry for the night.
Indeed. I guess you'll know anything that we say and or do tonight, yes?
Anything you do,
I am not that rude to listen to other conversations. One of the protectors would never betray us or our friend.
I would not.
She sits down in her chair, and the daughter walks over and starts escorting you all out. Once you get out, your weapons are retrieved and brought back into this tent, not to you. Yes, even when you pee. So, you are immediately left to your own devices. However, the daughter is still standing there and walks alongside you wherever you are going, just pointing to a tent, being, "That one over there will be yours."
Oh, she spoke.
Yes, I know how to speak.
I didn't say it out loud. I was like,
Yeah.
I am not allowed to speak in the presence of my mother, so I apologize.
None of us are allowed to speak in her presence.
one day maybe no one will be able to speak when they're in your presence either.
They will. I want to listen to my tribe as well.
Thinking of changing some old ways.
Every cloud speaker changes something.
What do you
Regardless.
feel about this?
I do not want to return to what my grandfather used to do. We do not want to act as pillagers. I want those responsible, and I want to drag the body through all of civilization attached to the back of one of our bulls. But I do not wish to harm the other locations.
I feel maybe your grandmother, your
Mother,
mother doesn't want to look weak
she does not.
at the time.
She has been challenged on many occasions, and recently I had to be appointed as her second hand to ensure that the physical confrontations do not reach her. She cannot appear weak before the other tribes, or our tribes will be consumed by theirs. If they challenge her directly, she will more than likely fall. They have great leaders as well. She grows old.
As do all things.
Yes. But I can't help but notice. I've studied the murals in our record my entire life.
She reaches down to your forearm and lifts your hand up, looking down dead center at your middle finger.
You don't have it.
No.
Does not bode well.
I don't know where it is.
I hope you reconnect with it.
I do feel a little lost without it. Especially after some events.
You speak of the other ones, the numbers falling.
Recently.
It's the life of a warrior, right? We live so we can die.
Or just come back and keep doing it over and over again.
Only if you're unlucky. I
guess
plan
I
on
have a lot
staying dead.
I guess I have a lot of bad luck then.
Regardless,
She looks at N and Solaris, and she immediately has a look of mild hatred, but then just squints her eyes and goes,
I apologize before. My mother does not like outsiders at all. However, I'm curious.
looks at Gabriel.
Why did she like you?
Did you like me? I do not know why.
She didn't look like she wanted to spit in your face. Which means she likes you.
Well, that's good.
I still have many things to learn. I do not have her level of insight yet. I will learn it one day. Regardless, I hope you all do prove yourselves to be good friends to us. Stop us from ruining many of your towns.
Have you heard of anywhere they might be going? When
They
they're
attacked
taken?
randomly. The smaller clans and tribes.
And no one's tried to follow after them?
I have. They're quick. They're fast. They have magic. The only
Is there
way to...
one? My apologies. Is there one place that they enter the forest?
Do not know. The forest is too grand for us to keep eyes on, and since our lack of guidance to our gods has been dwindling, we do not have access to asking the trees anymore.
Do they ever attack the same place twice?
They have? Yeah. And I am fearful for this. They seem to know our locations very well. And I dare not speak this in front of my mother or any of the other tribes, but I'm fearful that someone in our tribes, one of them, has been telling them where to go, who to attack.
Hearing about the trees and all of that, and that Rowan's been selected by a fairly large tree.
Would you like to roll religion?
Rowan, well, I was going to actually ask Rowan something. Rowan, how would you feel maybe trying to communicate with that person?
With the person who's telling the outsiders the location?
No, your person who gifted you the Yidris tree.
Oh, I mean, I guess I'm not opposed to it. I honestly haven't seen her since. I kind of thought she was maybe a hallucination, but I mean, I could try.
Was the party that good?
It was decent.
Well, if you would like some guidance, I can assist you, of course.
I could help as well.
Yeah, I've never done. I mean, I've never tried anything like this before, so I would need some help. I can admit that.
Right. Well then. Do you want to do this now?
Where are we right now? Are we like in the middle of their village?
Yeah. People are keeping a wide berth from your group. Very wide berth. You have a few, like, larger looming warrior types that, like, keep an eye on you, but nobody is approaching. They're giving you a respectful berth.
Do you all still have one of those tents where help communicate? It gets very hot. We burn certain plants.
Yes. My ancestors were idiots in thinking that actually helped you communicate.
Oh,
Yes. We
I
realized
still do that to this day.
that it was more in the offering to the individual that enticed them than anything else. However, I can admit that I am not very familiar with Yggdrasil at all, if only in name and lore. What is something that could be offered to them?
Religion check.
Sure.
16.
Not bad. So, you're not fairly familiar with her, as she was one of the only old gods that did not have a designated champion. Not like all of the other ones. Instead, she was viewed as the protector of nature. She was the protector of life. She did not want to be captivated by other individuals, but she never sought war, destruction, hate, malice, anything like that. She wanted to keep things safe. She is a motherly matron to the wilds. And the only thing you can recite in part of her scripture, which, I mean, there were other individuals who were very religiously in tuned. You weren't one of them. Who said she wanted to be the warming hearth to any wayward soul.
Warming hearth to any wayward soul.
Yes, hearth as in stone.
Yep. I would speak that little quote out loud. Don't know what that means that well, but
She is matronly. So I imagine, as a mother's nature would suggest, she wants to protect those that are underneath her. I suggest we meditate and ask. If that doesn't work, we try something else.
we find the one here.
So, you're all escorted into the forest outside the walls, into a nice, calmly little grove. The grove itself has like this bluish tint to the grass around it that is very odd for most of you. Rowan, you would be fully aware that the deeper away you get from civilization, the more ethereal everything becomes. Grass is not meant to be just green, but when you get further out, it transitions into the terrain that it is inside of. So sometimes it is blue when it's closer to bodies of water. Sometimes when it's closer to the sand, it turns red in nature. It's still greenish, but it has like tips to it and a hue about it as well. It's very beautiful the further out you get from civilization. So, as you walk into this grove, you see a single bench where she walks over and goes, those of you who don't have any inclination to ask for help, please sit on the bench and wait patiently.
Cable sits on the bench, and Beefcake kind of pokes his snout in his stomach to get pets.
Yes.
No, Gabriel, you're quite matronly.
And goes and sits on the bench as well.
The animals tend to like you when you don't threaten to eat them all the time.
I'm saying you're matronly with Beefcake. But anyways.
So, Solaris, I will presume, also sits down on the bench, since Solaris is not there. But anyways, Kothar, are you going to sit on the bench, or are you going out there?
I'll go with...
Immediately...
Well, I may not.
Gotcha.
Pray.
Immediately, your feet are moistened by the mildewy texture of the grass surrounding you. And when you go and squat down and begin crossing your legs in the ceremonious position, you know, cross-legged, it's very nice. It's comfy. It's relaxed. She also sits down and begins breathing deeply. All right. I presume this is your first time seeking any form of guidance, correct?
Yeah.
Breathe deeply. Calmly. Clear your mind of what litters it right now. And seek her. And ask her as if you are to ask a friend for help.
In my mind or out loud?
Whatever feels natural for you.
Rowan kind of peeks over at Kothar to see what he's doing.
Kothar, I muted you.
Yeah, I saw it. He has his axe put to the side, and he's just kind of sitting there, just kind of like hands on his knees and legs, just eyes closed, just chest is and diaphragm are just expanding very widely as he's just kind of trying to center himself.
Rowan tries to mimic his posture, takes a deep breath, and then tries to calm her mind and speak out as suggested.
What do you say? What do you ask?
Is anyone there?
Roll a wisdom saving throw.
Oh god.
It's gonna be really short. Oh, no, I guess not.
Hey.
Ooh!
Almost instantly, when you ask that, you kind of feel like a slight bump against your shoulder. And you look over and you see that same individual sitting there, legs crossed, you know, smiling at you. Red, long hair. Wow, it took you long enough.
Yeah, I'm not that great at hints.
I can see that.
How old are you?
Oh, that is a very rude question to ask. Very.
Well, I'll tell you how old I am.
I know.
Where are you from?
I am not from here, if that is what you are asking.
Can anyone else see you?
They could, if they were more receptive of me.
Rowan kind of touches the leaf in her hair and looks at the woman. Why did you give this to me?
Well, my power has been waned in recent time. Only those underneath my canopy I can keep safe. I wanted to put you underneath my canopy.
Where do you spend most of your time? I just think it's odd that we haven't run into each other before.
I can see this is going to be difficult for you. Think of me as the wind. It's ever present, but you can't see it. And most of the time, you don't even know that it is there. But whenever you need a little push or a hard shake, it makes itself well known.
I'm reaching out to you now because these people that I'm with and I need a little push.
Well, what is it?
Can I look over at Kothar and can I talk to him right now or no?
Nobody else seems to be moving right now. Seems like they've completely frozen in position.
All right. Well, we're with this tribe, and we're trying to prevent violence from breaking out, but to be honest, I'm not sure how we can manage that or if there's a way we can prevent it.
You're trying to prevent the violence.
Yeah, prevent the violence, and the tribe, they're also missing members. Individuals have been kidnapping tribe members, which honestly is the root of the problem. So we're trying to track those individuals down too, if that's possible.
Many things pass through my canopy, pass through my wind. You plan on killing these people to prevent more violence, correct?
Well, I don't know if... I think some people in my group might be on board with that. I think some others might not be. I honestly haven't given it too much thought, but I suppose if that's the only way to stop them, we might have to.
There's not much I can do. I wish there was more. But my power keeps dwindling, and this is honestly very exhausting for me to maintain. However, there are foreign, untrained feet stepping through this forest, breaking through my wind. They're heading towards a small home. 2 tents, 3 families. Small folk. I don't recall what they call them. Cute though. Very cute.
Halfling?
Don't know. Sorry. This is
Where...
all that I can give you right now. If you need my help in the future, ask. I would love to help you. But this is exhausting. And you watch as wind rushes through the area and she just slowly drifts into leaves. Everyone else starts moving again. All of you have been looking at Rowan in deep concentration for about 10 minutes or so.
Rowan peeks over at Kothar and the other individual sitting out there with her. They've come too, right?
The other individual has not been praying. She's just been looking at you. Kothar, were you praying?
Yes, but I'm assuming nothing came of it, so...
Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. 12. Oh, wait, sorry. Yeah, it'd be a 12 regardless.
Okay. No proficiency in that one. Or
No,
variance would be too good. While you're in that contemplative state, it's not something you're very good at, and unfortunately is fruitless for you.
Yeah.
However,
He's trying, but you see like some anger on his face, like
course.
frustration.
So yes, Rowan. The other individual looks at you. Did you have any luck?
I saw something.
Well, what was it?
Rowan kind of explains the conversation that she had.
Kothar, you're interrupted during your concentration, but you catch all this.
Well, I'm glad it worked for you.
Did you see anything?
No. I didn't. But I'm happy for you.
I kind of panicked. I don't know if I asked her the right questions, but she said she couldn't stay for long.
Well, the
She
old
gave
ones.
you something, though.
The old ones are weak. Even simple tasks as projection is something they cannot do easily.
Why are they weak?
They lack worship and follow. I mean,
People don't
amongst all
believe.
the old ones, she has the largest following, and she's still weak. Most people don't follow her, they follow the tree. Not taking heed to her warnings or her duties towards the world.
Do you know of this tent? That
2
she spoke
tents,
of?
small folk, 3 families. The Gabo. They're not terribly far from here. Maybe 5 miles or so.
Said they were 4 feet going towards them right now as we speak.
She kind of like immediately stands and straightens herself. All right, then we have to go intercept it. And she starts moving.
He'll go with and call for the others.
Rowan scrambles after them.
All right.
Gable gets up quickly and joins.
In as well.
So, as you start running out into this direction, moving at a quickened pace, kind of feeling the excitement and the threat of what is about to happen, pulse over
Wait a minute,
you.
do we have our weapons?
No, you do not.
No!
If it's... Yeah. If the weapons are close by,
They are not close by. You left them in the tents. You're a few miles from the tents, and you have 5 miles to intercept these people that are on their way now.
Yeah, Gable keeps moving.
Ready. As an important point of order, you can smite with your fist. Just saying. But anyways, yeah. Oh no, only bludgeoning. But anyways, as you are all picking up your pace and running in this direction after the Goliath, being clearly the fastest one amongst you all, I think that's where we're going to take a break. So everybody, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody. We're back. And by the tone of the music, you can presume to know what's about to happen. So, with everybody being back already, let me transition you all over to the battle map. You've been running forward in a very direct line through the forest, taking your quickened pace and in this intense jog forward, making your way through the forest, pushing past everybody else. Solaris, at one point in time, you cast Mage Armor, so I'm going to put you a little bit further behind than everybody else, but you'll be good. Falling behind the Goliath who's been pushing forward, but after about 15 minutes or so of this quickened pace and run, you do see that there appears to be a small campfire up ahead where there's a large group of goblins sitting around, you know, roasting, having a very good, normal evening for them. And as you are approaching in this very quick state, the Goliath begins to slow her pace and prowls over to a tree line, becoming unseen, and gestures for you all to do the same. Would you all like to roll your stealth checks?
Sure.
What the F?
Please move yourself to whichever tree that you wish to on this side of the map.
Second natural 20 on stealth.
Hey, take it, right? You're helping that natural 3.
My screen's frozen. Is there any way you can manually roll stealth for me right now, Jero?
Yes.
Thanks.
Is that everybody? Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Goliath. Not bad. That'll be a 14 on their part. Wait, 15 on their part. So the party average comes out to not bad. Gabriel taking your forward position with them. Rowan, do you want to be with the rest of the party or closer with the Goliath and Gabriel?
Goliath and Gabriel, please.
With Gabriel? Alrighty. So with all of you prowling in this area, looking at the group of goblins over here, your adrenaline pumping, and breathing very quickly in wait and anticipation. I need one person from each tree to roll a perception check.
I guess I'll roll.
I'll do it.
Alrighty.
Are you on my tree or the other one?
The other one.
The other one.
Perception.
Nice.
Holy shit. Solaris, ignore everything I'm about to say, as well as everybody else in your tree. Gabriel, you do manage to communicate to your party members inside of this area, or your current group in this area, let's call them. You see 2 individuals up further ahead, north, west of the encampment, skulking through the area. 1 drow, 1 elf. They're moving slowly and they're prowling upwards.
North on the map.
North on the map. Roughly this general area.
Do I
They're
reckon?
very sleuthy. Well, you only see their silhouettes. You don't see them directly, but you do see like the drow-like skin in front of the one and the tightly pulled back brown hair of an elf as well.
What about? Do I see any weapons among the goblins?
Rudimentary spears. Nothing terribly, representative. And they're slowly approaching.
Oh, I thought they were going north.
No, they are north. They're approaching the encampment.
Can I try to circle around to outflank them with my great stealth abilities?
If you want to roll a new stealth, now that you're separating from the group, you can.
After a little bit of time passes, Solaris would pull out his little piece of thread and point it at Gabriel and whisper, "Gabriel, what's going on?"
Can I respond to that?
Are you within 100 feet? Yes.
Yeah.
Just barely.
Oh. Yeah, I tell him what's going on, and what I'm about to do.
Do you communicate that to your bush?
Yes.
Yeah, pass it on to whoever I can.
Ready? So, Gabriel,
Oh,
you step out, and within 10 feet, you break a branch. I need everybody to roll initiative, please.
Hey. Initiative.
of course, it would be sick. I'm not rolling well.
Ooh.
Am I reading that correctly?
Ooh. Yeah. However, the Goliath also got a natural 20. So it looks like the DM's going first. Actually, maybe not. Solaris, what is your dexterity modifier?
3.
Ties go in favor of the player. Solaris.
All right.
You hear Gabriel break the branch, and immediately you know whatever type of hunting force they are, they would be aware of that. It was loud.
I just quickly say, I think we've been found. We need to act. And I prepare God damn it, I don't know if I want to actually do that. I actually cast invisibility on myself.
Okay.
So, yeah. Make sure I'm flavoring this right.
You mutter a handful of words.
Yes.
You become invisible. Would you like to move forward? We're going to put the ninja symbol on you.
Okay. I would like to move... I'm going to try to move kind of around in another flanking position, like this way.
So this way?
Yeah. So
All right.
There.
10.
Whoops.
You're stepping through the tree now.
Oh, whoops. Okay,
Yep.
there we go.
That's a big-ass tree. So 10 plus 15.
And then that's it.
30 right there. Yep.
Are the slave drivers more than one person?
I'm sorry?
Sorry, slave drivers, are they more than one person?
2.
No.
Mm-hmm. And that's your turn, Solaris?
Yes, I'm gonna hold my turn there. Or, yeah. And my turn. Sorry.
The driver is going to go now. Looks around. Makes eye contact with you, Gabriel. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, really? It's gonna... It's wisdom.
As you look into the eyes of one of the people that are associated with the organization who stole you when you were younger and smaller, your body freezes up.
Oh, man, I was going to do that to them.
And the individual gives a little smile. 10, 20, 30. And you watch as they raise an arrow towards you and shoot directly into you. Advantage because you are stunned. That's going to hit you.
Yeah.
Oh.
The arrow sinks into your chest. You take 7 points of piercing damage, Gabriel. Give me a Constitution saving throw. As you feel the same toxic poison that you are so familiar with pulsing into your body, you manage to at least fortify yourself against that. So you only take half damage, which will leave it at 12 poison.
So I'd lose 12 more points?
Yep. And the individual calls back to the other. Ignore them, this one's worth more. And that is their turn.
Me?
Yeah. However, right beside you, 10, 20, 30, and 40, the Goliath woman goes charging upwards, and you see this electric pulse from the large axe on her side as she goes swinging upwards into this individual. She is going to reckless. She is going to hit. He is going to uncanny dodge for half damage. However, that's still a good chunk. As she runs upwards, cutting deeply into him and splaying the blood forward, you see this ferocious entity that is very similar to how Kothar acts on many occasions, hacking into this individual. and cutting him down a little bit. She's going to use her multi-attack and attack again. However, on the second swing, she manages to miss somehow. Very unfortunate. And you heard what the individual cried out, and you see Gabriel is stunned, looking terrified, which is something Gabriel never looks.
Yes. So, In's gonna move kind of into more of the centralized area and then cast over to that Witch Bolt on the one attacking Gabriel.
What's the range on Witch Bolt?
120 feet.
Okay, yeah, that's close.
Oh wait,
No, it isn't.
Chaos Bolt. It's Chaos Bolt. Excuse me.
Witch Bolt is 30 feet.
30 feet. Yes, but Chaos Bolt is 120.
A lot further, yeah. An 11 to hit. Unfortunately, that is not going to hit. You raise your hands and you shoot the bolt of energy outwards, but this individual kind of sees it coming, raises their blade, deflects, and just throws it over onto the ground. Very, very quick movements.
Okay.
And then it smiles. We have a large bounty now.
And then In's gonna use a sorcery point to quicken a spell and use Vicious Mockery.
Okay.
And it's gonna be like, I think not. I think it's you that's going to get captured here.
It resists the mockery. Growls are bitches. However, it just keeps smiling over at you, looking very excited now. You can see underneath the mask guard that the smile is very broad and wide. However, that is your turn. The next one, which nobody has seen thus far, is going to shoot at the Goliath. Actually, what's the range of this spell? 90 feet? Yeah, it's gonna do that instead. It raises its hands. Yeah, it raises its hands and shoots out a chaotic bolt of energy. Oh, fuck, that's a natural 20. Directly towards the Goliath. Yup.
It is not starting well for us.
At least it's not at you. So that'll be 3d8 doubled. Holy shit. Can you keep yourself muted, Solaris? I keep getting feedback from the game. That is going to be 32 points of damage. That is fire damage that it's chosen, which this Goliath is bullshit and is resistant to. So that is 18 points of damage.
Does this Goliath have Stone's Endurance?
It does have Stone's Endurance, thank you.
You're welcome.
7 more hit points, not bad. The bolt of energy goes shooting out and shocking against their hardened exterior, but you see the deep-set lightning marks across their body just glow outwards as you hear this ground-shaking growl come out of their body towards the individual. Kothar.
Rowan's before me. She rolled a 9.
Oh, I don't know why you're all the way down there. Okay, Rowan.
All right, how far can I move in a turn? How many feet, Jero?
30 as a person.
Can I, as a person, make it to the drow from here?
That is 10. You can get up to here as a person.
How many can I move as an animal?
Depending on the animal, probably up to 40 feet as a wolf. You can get up to him.
Okay. technical question. Can I move my max as a person, and then after using my bonus action to turn into an animal, can I then move the rest that's allotted to my animal?
It's percentage base. So you would move full movement, which is all 30. You don't gain that on top of it. It's just your base movement. Or if you move, say, 15 feet now, you gain half of the wolf's, which is an additional 20 to move forward.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. It's proportionate to your maximum speed.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So, I will... Okay, I'll just move my maximum as close to the drow as I can in human form right now.
Okay, so go ahead and move yourself. That's 10, 20, right up here.
See here?
Yep.
Alright, cool. And as I'm running forward, Rowan will kind of whip her left arm and cast Ice Knife at the drow.
Go ahead, roll to hit.
Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna hit. 19 hits.
Mm-hmm.
You get primary damage with the Nice Life as well. What is that?
Let's see.
So, you on hit, you deal 1d10 piercing damage, and it explodes for the 2d6 cold damage. So, initially, the 6 piercing, that happens. Roll your 2d6 cold, and it's going to make a dex save. Surprise, it is good at these. What's your DC? It's not that good at these, apparently. Okay. So go ahead, roll your other dice. Slash R. Yep.
Do that every time.
Yep. Another 10. The knife goes shooting out at the individual, piercing into his side, and then exploding outwards, covering him in this little sheet of ice, as he's now starting to realize how outnumbered he is with the current forces. And for all of you curious, the goblins are looking around fucking freaked out right now. They don't know what's happening. Is that the end of your turn, Rowan?
Can I use my bonus action to turn into a wolf?
Absolutely. So, you break down and you start howling outwards at the individual. Don't remove yourself, just now you're a wolf. Now, Kothar.
You said they did have weapons, the goblins?
The goblins, they do. Very rudimentary, like spears and things like that.
Are they holding on to them, or are they just laying around?
They've picked them up, but there are, like, extras. They're hunting spears, so, like, they need multiples just in case.
Okay. And this is just a fire pit here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Kothar is going to sprint, so action dash, I guess?
Yep.
So it's 60 feet. Because I'm guessing I saw the shot from over this way.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to just be charging that way. And can I use a free action to grab an item? Grab a spear?
You would have to run through the encampment to do that.
That's fine.
Okay. So 40 feet there, another 20 feet. And I'll say it's going to be your bonus action to grab it.
That's fine.
Okay, cool. Also, you end right here.
I'm actually going,
here.
like... I was going to go, like, in this general.
This way?
Sorry. Yeah, I was trying to click, but I was on the ruler. So, like that
here.
way. Yeah.
All right, that's
there.
no problem. Yeah, you can end up going all the way there. However, 2 of the goblins, terrified, are going to take attacks of opportunity against you.
Oh, Jesus.
Does a 14 hit?
Nope.
Okay, how's an 8 sound?
Nope.
Okay, as you're running through, they both kind of like try stabbing out at you, terrified, and you just quickly grab one of their hands, ripping it, going, thanks, and just keep going.
So I have a spear, yeah?
Yes, if you roll a 19 or a 20, it will crit, but it will also be destroyed.
That's fine. I'm just
Alrighty.
gonna put down a spear.
Cool. Natural made items. There's
Yep.
perks, splinters. But anyways, that was your full movement, bonus action, all that jazz. Gabriel, as you see people running up trying to protect you, I need you to give me another wisdom saving throw.
Please be high. Nat 20. Oh,
You're still frozen in place, freaking
This is
out,
not
looking at these people.
this isn't cool. So I can't move at all, or I
You
just
can
can't
try
move-
running if you want, but not towards them.
Oh,
Or you
yeah.
can stay in position. It's your call.
Yeah, I will circle around and can try double dash and grab one of those spears too.
If you go around, like, you're just running this way,
Yeah.
and you dash upwards, I'd say, like, you run here, run in there. Like, you can get into the goblins area and try taking one of their spears, of course, but, I mean, yeah.
And I also cast Shield of Faith on myself so that I'm 21 AC.
Alrighty, go
So-
for it. You run in there, and all the goblins that are just sitting there, like, looking scared at you, like, now you're in here looking just as scared as they are. So you're kind
Yeah.
of, like, in their little encampment right here. Oops, sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
So,
they're not hugging you, sorry.
oh,
They are scared. And Beefcake is still catching up, so don't worry about him. He's really far away.
oh, okay. And I try grab a spear or whatever with double
Your
dash.
current, well, with your dash and bonus action Shield of Faith, you're currently, like, fighting one over the spear. You will easily overpower them. But next turn.
Someone's gonna get kicked in the abs.
Yep. Solaris. You're still sneaky. The only person in your party who's not seen right now.
All right. That. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move up here, which is 25 feet, and then let's see. Okay. How far away is Kothar? 60 feet. I think that's the range. Okay, so you see.
You can see him because he's big, but yeah.
Okay.
Keep in mind, these tents will obstruct your visual prowess.
Okay.
Kothar's large. Not large,
Oh.
large, but he's big. You can see him over the corner of a goblin tent.
Okay. He's out of range anyway, so what I'm going to try instead is kind of whisper under my breath and move my hands around and cast Charm Person on this person up here to the north.
Okay. Wisdom save, right?
Yes, I believe so. No.
Let
It
me
is
see.
a wisdom save, yes.
Okay.
Of 14.
As your spell attaches itself to him, you do notice a glow of some runic markings against his skin peel away and shatter outwards. Immediately, you feel your spell takes hold. However, there's going to be a source of damage that appears right on you, being the one who targeted him. Give me a Constitution saving throw. What'd you get?
Big fat 4.
Big fat 4. All right. You are going to suffer a big fat 4 force damage.
Okay.
And give me another con save to maintain concentration on your spell. $13. You take the blast against you and your concentration wanes, but then you focus upon it again, realizing this individual was magically protected from such things, just in case.
All right.
However, they are charmed by you now. They kind of like
All right.
look over and...
Can I say with my bonus action, I just say, oh, please, you know you like me more than you like this guy. Help us out here. And that's my turn.
I
He's
have
not
three charm person.
invisible anymore, right?
No, you are no longer invisible. You cast a spell. But let me just read charm person to be sure about what's happening now. Because I don't think... Would they fight poison? It had it. Its advantage.
They treat me as a friend.
Yes. So it looks at you and like looks over at Kothar and everybody else and kind of seems confused. Immediately, the drow in front of the daughter like looks over at him and I knew the new one was useless. Goodbye. Shadows emanate in the area it was just standing in.
So what, the assassin disappeared or was killed?
It is now the Goliath's turn, who looks very confused outwards and like waves their weapon in front of them and where'd it go? Sees the other one. 10 20 30 40, and as she begins running up, pulls out a hand axe and throws it directly at him, recklessly. Manages to miss somehow. It goes flying past him. At least I'm rolling poorly on all the NPCs, right?
Yeah. No one killed it. No one hurt it.
And
would I have realized that Solaris used charm person?
only if
I
Solaris
think
says
probably.
something with their 4 words. You're muted right now. Yeah, I keep getting the feedback, so I keep muting you.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Here, I'll turn it down. Do not harm them.
Works.
Okay, so that's any is it any attack roll that counts towards that?
Any harm towards them.
Would Bane be
Hurt.
considered harm?
It would be the intent to harm, so I would say yes.
All right, if do not harm them, in knows charm person, so
Yeah.
they're gonna move up a little bit closer to the campsite and just hold dissonant we're just gonna hold chaos bolt if he tries to
You
run.
do
but-
see all of the goblins that are now staring at Gabriel, getting ready to attack him.
Oh, that's true. Sorry, my scrolling stuff is moving stuff all over the place. I don't know what's happening.
You were there. Ish.
Okay. So, N would move 30 feet into there, and then use Thunderclap to send all the goblins back.
Okay. 10, 20, 30. This is about where you can get up to. Hitting one goblin with that. Or do you want to try doing what your charismatic character can do and intimidate?
We'll do the intimidate.
Do you speak goblin?
No, but Infernal's pretty intimidating.
True. Go ahead, roll intimidation. Alrighty. You scream out in this gnarly infernal voice that I think somebody in the party understands as you say, "Back the fuck off." And immediately you see newly found droplings under half of them.
Okay.
And that'll be your turn.
And like, yeah. So that is just like very much like arms out, like don't touch him.
So, while this is happening, initiative is now over. The individual, seeing the the Cloud Speaker's daughter running towards them, kind of like, just like moves away cautiously and towards you, Solaris.
Wait, everybody. We just settle down. I'm sorry.
What are you doing here? It's been so long. Comes over and like gives you a hug.
Yes, I'm sorry that we surprised you. It's been a while, but I'm glad you recognize me. What?
Roll me a history.
Okay.
Is Gable still feared?
You're still afraid, but you're no longer under the condition. So what'd you get? Dirty 20? Dirty 20. The individual, you recognize them. One of the scholars in Sauron Fion, from one of the more prestigious schools of study.
Interesting. Okay.
One of the
yes. Go ahead.
Top of his class, even.
Oh, wow.
But only a few years experienced as a mage. Not very much. Still promising.
I just say it's been so long, and I'm sorry that we kind of got off on the wrong foot here. We did not mean to surprise you.
Oh, it's fine. You didn't recognize me. It's okay. We have to go deal with the goblins, of course. I mean, it's what we came here to do.
Of course.
I didn't know you were working with us.
Yes, I just kind of joined the mission not too long ago. I was sent for aid in this endeavor.
Of course.
Why? They were foggy on some of the details, but why are these goblins? Why are we hunting them again?
Oh yes. We need more sacrifices. One of each blood.
Interesting.
They didn't tell you that?
No, they just sent me in a random direction, to be honest.
I'm going to presume the rest of you swarm around this individual with a very intimidating aura towards it.
I'm already getting rope off of my pack.
Yeah. And they are very welcoming towards Solaris, like holding, hugging, like they authentically enjoy his presence right now.
Yeah, Gabriel isn't really thinking, so the second he can, he walks up and decks the assassin.
What?
That would break the charm spell.
The not thinking part I mentioned, yeah.
No,
and you
would grab his shoulder and just be like, stay.
So, and putting themselves between you, Gabriel, I think you are smart enough to back off at that point, right?
Yeah, Gabriel's not going to attack in, though he's pissed off as hell.
He looks back and goes, you found so many good ones. A dragon, a devil, an angel. That's fantastic.
Yes, we've got some quite capable hands among us. But before we get to it,
yes,
do you mind if I pick your brain a little bit? And
of course, whatever I can do.
Solaris,
may I ask your position?
My position?
I don't want to be presumptuous. I mean, I'll help you with whatever I can, but I do want to know your position.
As soon as he says that, Solaris just pulls out a copper piece, and he flicks it, and it starts spinning rapidly in the air and just kind of floating there. And I cast Detect Thoughts.
Okay.
On this person.
Both of them are concentration spells.
Yes.
So you drop Charmed Person?
I drop Charmed Person, yes.
Okay, so let's have this happen real quick. Immediately, Charmed Person drops, and surface level thoughts you want, or are you diving deeper?
I'm diving deeper.
Okay, so immediately saving throw.
Gabriel is just being held back by N, who looks over his shoulder, and after a second, he screams in the air. And the second that he sees the assassin is a problem again. He pretty much pushes N aside and goes charging.
I don't think we'd know yet.
No, you wouldn't be able to tell it immediately. It's not like you see the magic dissipate, it just stops.
Well, I mean,
really
when
they do something, I will let you know. But let me get to that point first.
Okay.
Cool. Immediately dropping the spell, the individual's eyes go a little buggy, realizing what happened. And the very first thought you get before you were shut out from diving deeper, they were successful, was, that only leaves 2 more kinds. And then you're shut out completely from trying.
Well, it's been fun, but we should all really get out of here. Or kill this person.
You
Capture.
cannot kill me. You cannot kill me.
We've moved in, right?
Oh yeah, all of you have like completely surrounded this.
Gabriel, M just takes one step out of Gabriel's way.
Gabriel just charges to the guy and slams him to the ground, and
I'll say because all of you and Gabriel's rage, he's unconscious.
Okay.
We should capture him. He could have more information.
when he's kind of conscious, Gabriel just flips him over angrily and pulls out a rope and starts tying him.
So, the goblins are all still terrified. However, the tribe maiden, we'll call her, looks over and goes, "It's fine." Speaks in Goblin. They're with us. Does anybody here speak Goblin, by the way?
No.
All right. She says something in Goblin, and the rest of them kind of like back off. And one of the ones walks over towards you, Kothar. Very old-looking goblin with like the saggy ears. And by really old, she's probably like 20 years old.
He's gonna kind of hand out the spear back.
Yes, Alars?
I just wanted to say Charm Person is not a concentration spell. I just checked.
That's
Oops.
Weird, right? I know.
that absolutely should be a whatever. We've moved past it and you're fine. So
Okay, that's fine. I know. I just wanted to bring it up. Maybe I'll check.
yeah, no, you're right. I just looked. Enchantment spells, they should be concentration. But I mean, hey, whatever. But anyways, Kothar, she walks over to you and like holds up a well-crafted spear towards you. The only well-crafted weapon they have.
No, I can't take that.
Batani gift.
I'll trade. And I'm gonna give back this shitty spear.
They
Meanwhile-
take it in.
Meanwhile, Gabriel, once Gabriel finishes securing him, he switches him and unarms him, then tries
Roll an
slapping
investigation.
him awake.
Don't jump too far ahead at a time. Roll an investigation. There are steps here.
I would like to assist.
Assist or do it yourself?
I'll roll separately.
Okay, cool. Go ahead.
Oof.
Gabriel, there was a dagger. There's some type of like medallion hanging from their wrist, which, looking at the other trinkets your companions use for spell casting, you know that that's probably some type of focus. You remove that, and other than the dagger, that, and a short sword, you don't find anything else.
Yeah, Gabriel sticks the dagger in his belt or something and throws the medallion to his side. And
There was also a short sword.
oh, okay, he grabs that too, arms himself, then tries to slap the guy awake.
I think taking this one back to the elder would be a good idea. And
They
it
are
shows
fast.
faith.
They are fast creatures. Let's take it where it cannot escape before we wake it. She goes over, grabs him by like the neck, and just hoists him onto her shoulder.
Strong woman.
Let's follow.
She starts walking, and like, now that you're walking back, it's a much slower pace. And about halfway through, Beefcake does like catch back up to you, just leaping onto you, Gabriel, as your emotional support boar.
Oh. he still has his eyes focused on the assassin as he follows closely behind.
So, the Cloud Speaker's daughter speaks over as you are walking back, looks back at you. I have to ask, did you know that person? Looks at you, Gabriel.
I didn't know. I probably recognize the marks or something, but not the actual person.
Correct.
I know people like him.
You froze in the moment of battle.
Yeah, I have a lot of history with that type of people.
You have a history with slavers.
Yes.
Well, now you have to tell me what that history pertains to. An allyship or an enemy.
I used to be a slave. I was captured by slavers. That's pretty much
Enough said.
enough said.
She turns and keeps walking.
And as they're walking in, kind of puts a hand on Gabe's shoulder and not saying too much about it, letting him have his space.
So a brief kick in my arms and in with her hand on my shoulder.
Their hand.
Oh, sorry, their hand.
We'll get there one day.
Oh.
But yes, as you are moving forward, about another 10-20 minutes goes by before you hear her speak up again. Wonder how my mother saw that in you. You reek of the city, but she knew of that somehow. Makes no sense.
I don't know.
Is age that good of a teacher?
How old is she?
A lot older than all of us. All of my people, that is. Looks over at you, Solaris, and goes, no offense. You are way older than her.
Yeah.
But yes, let's get there. As you get closer to the location, it's been about an hour. I need somebody to roll me a d4 to see if they're still unconscious or not. First person that rolls it gets it. They're still unconscious as you get outside. Bringing the body in and watching all of the other Goliaths like look around and looking very timid and concerned about what you all are doing. And she hands the body over to you, Kothar. You present it to my mother, not me. I had nothing to do with that.
It won't come up. I don't want to lie to your mother.
So, you all walk into her tent where she is still sitting down and turns and looks and sees you carrying a body in your arms.
Another gift for the tribe.
You dump him on the ground. She looks.
I dump him on the ground.
She cocks her head. Is this one of them?
We believe so. He was with one that Gabriel recognized. Clearly, he had intentions of out of here. One got away.
You're going roboto here.
But this... Sorry. One got away, but this one seems to be of use, possibly?
He is yours to interrogate.
Thank you. It would appear that The younger generation may have a bit of wisdom in them. Thank you. She stands up and walks over to the individual. Moves the hands above the head, looks at all of you and says, "If you are squeamish, walk out."
Gabriel doesn't move anywhere. By this time, he's put down beefcake and
Everybody staying?
Kothar steps out.
You watch as she starts by pinning the hands to the ground with a dagger, piercing through both of them, and then proceeds to torture him without a single question or knowledge of what is happening, not even granting him the solace of a stick to bite onto.
Gable just crosses his arms and kind of smiles savagely a little bit.
Solaris and En, as neither of you have lived a life where this is something that you've been shown to, I need you both to give me a Constitution saving throw.
There.
Ooh.
Solaris, you do what you've been training yourself to do for most of your life when you are in deep contemplation, is to separate reality from your focus of study. Instead of thinking them as a person, you think of them as a spell being divined by a different individual, and they're just working their tools in order to find it. It's the way that you can comprehend this and manage to stay and observe. And, however, you have to leave. You can't stomach this.
Gable is kind of torn between going after Anne and watching, and tries to get Beefcake to go out with her.
In would shake their head and just as a sign for Gabe to stay.
And when you walk out, you do notice about halfway across the area, Kothar is still just sitting there, arms crossed. Not far away, but not in the presence of it. And despite the fact that he is the biggest and baddest of all of you, he knew he did not want to stomach that.
Not your cup of tea, En?
Might need some tea to settle my stomach was more like it. A pipe might work if you don't mind sharing.
It's only tobacco.
Only tobacco works just
Or
fine.
some sort of plant thing that's in the magical world. I've seen my fair share. I don't need to watch that. No information was probably had, I assume.
No words were said. I don't know if that means that she didn't get information or not, but there weren't any words.
After about 10 minutes, you all start hearing his pleas for this to stop, and begging and shouting that he will tell her anything. However, she does not stop. She keeps torturing.
Solaris just kind of speaks up and he says, "Wait, Elder."
He looks up at you, still stone-faced as ever.
"I do not wish to interrupt, but if you would allow me to gain some special information from this individual before you have your way with them, I would be greatly appreciative."
He will not speak truth until his mind is broken. He will speak what we want to hear, for solace.
But that's the thing, is I don't need him to speak.
She raises her eyebrow.
I wish to try something one more time. Then do whatever method you wish.
Gabriel is helping the speaker ever he can, kind of annoyed at the interruption. He's in a dark place.
He gestures towards you. grabs you by your hands, gently, Gabriel, definitely not being assertive with you, but just moving you aside. You feel she could overpower you, but she's choosing to be gentle. She gestures.
Solaris, one more time, brings out the copper piece and starts spinning it with magical energy, and it kind of flies over and starts kind of spinning over his head. And I want to try again to just try and probe deeper into his mind and see what I can find about more information that he has about this operation.
As you stretch into this individual's mind for the second time, you feel that it is far weaker than it was before. The physical toll, as you are very well aware of, puts a lasting mental toll on somebody as well. And as that starts breaking down, you start sifting into the mind very easily and gleaming little bits of information that was much more difficult previously. Prying at it and ripping it out. You see the individual back at your school, the one that you taught at for a short period of time, being approached by one of the other professors. A tall high elf named Gladwich. Elected to his position but 5 years ago for the first time. Enticing him to a extracurricular study. A elven-specific study, in fact. He accepted, and you see about 8 or so other students varying around, following into a classroom late at night, as he begins telling them a very old history that is only meant to be taught to the most sincerest of scholars that can differentiate written history and current events. Talking of how the elves were the first to come to Solemn. They were the high race. They were more powerful before they were diluted down by the close embrace of everybody else on this plane of existence. They were Fae. They came through. And now they are little more than a gimmick compared to what their previous power was. And they're slowly being brainwashed and taught this way of thinking, that the elves are superior, the elves are better than everybody else, and how that they should slowly take back their rulership from the humans and everybody else. Now, time passes and you see that the room empties to about 3 of these individuals, where it was originally 8. The other ones seem to not enjoy this prospect as much, and they segregated themselves. However, the 3 that were on board with this, the one whose skull is in this very room, the one whose body you are now diving into the mind of, and a third one you don't recognize, someone that you probably never had any studies with. The 3 of them were taken from Selderon Fion and brought over towards a place that looks completely foreign to you in all of your years of travel. It's a very small, secluded village. Dark wood surrounds hulking tree trunks that bow inwards around everybody, and the buildings themselves are made out of thatch wood, nothing else. There's cauldrons around the territory, and different walks of elven life everywhere, but pointedly nobody else. Only elves. As they are being groomed into this culture, this mentality, and being forced into this way of life. The individual also pushes forward into working in Weldentop, being recruited by an organization that he was introduced to by Gladwich. The organization tells him that they are working on a way to get the elves back to their prestigious hereditary enlightenment that they used to have. And they say it involves a ritual, a sacrifice of 1 walk of each extraplanar life. If they can manage this, the ritual will come to fruition, and all of these elves that are within this organization will ascend upwards. Now, you don't see anything else in their mind except a symbol. A black diamond with a slitted silver eye on the inside and a crack horizontally across it. And that is when your spell ends.
All right.
He's lying
Kinda
there
shakes
on
it
the
off a bit.
ground, crying. Betray us all. You're one of us. Why would you betray us?
Gable just kind of grabs his jaw and silences him. He doesn't try to choke him or anything. Just
Silence.
Not one of you. Race is a funny thing, but I don't have the same mentality. Elder, have your way with him. I'm done here. And Solaris just walks out.
As you walk away, the elder comes back over to you, Gabriel, grabs your shoulder and lifts you up. Go be with your friends. Let an old woman take on horrors. I have less time to live with it than you do. Go.
Gable hesitates for a minute, but remembers in and nods slowly, not saying anything, walks out to be within.
She turns and looks at you, Rowan, being the last person kind of hidden in the corner. Do you enjoy this?
No. Not particularly.
Tell me, how did you find them? Know that they were coming.
We, a couple of us went out to a grassy area and, prayed. And I saw something, and that's how I knew they were coming.
The Guardian's Grove. So my daughter took you there.
Yes, she did.
Did she help you enlighten yourself?
In a way, yeah, she guided me through the process.
You see a little smirk of pride come across her lips for a second. Good. Do you wish to leave an old woman alone to do her work?
Yep. Rowan just leaves the tent.
Thank you. With all of you gathering yourselves back out, looking at Gabriel, who now has to wash his hands clean of whatever he helped with. You all gather into the one tent. Secluded from everybody and kind of breathing about what just happened and what you've gotten yourselves into. Solaris, do you want to tell anybody anything?
Yes. Before anything else, Solaris looks at Gabriel and he says, I hope you didn't believe him. I'm not one of them.
I don't. No, I didn't believe him.
All right. I may be an elf, but I don't see myself as more important than anyone else. I found out some interesting information. I have a certain way of probing into people's thoughts and memories. And I found out who is actually behind this, or at least this piece of the whole puzzle that we're trying to figure out. It's a man by the name of Gladwich, a high elf who I somewhat recognized from my old school that I taught at back in Southern Field. He is recruiting students and others, specifically elves, for sacrifices and rituals. I don't know the exact intention, but all I could gather was that it was all in the purpose of restoring the elven rule over this area, over this land, their superiority becoming more legitimized in some way. I saw a place. I don't recognize it, but it was thatch houses and dark wood. And then I saw Weldon Top. I'm not sure specifically where these people were taken to, but I can bet it's either one of those places.
Gable always gets stressed out when he hears the name Weldon Top.
And one more thing. There was a symbol. A black diamond with a silver slit eye and a horizontal crack down the middle.
Kothar? No roll needed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Does Gable recognize anything?
You would not.
Does Solaris notice Kothar shift or anything?
Roll an insight. I would say yes, you do.
He grits down on like the end of the pipe.
Muscles
Kothar?
tense aggressively.
You know this, Kothar?
And out of game, this is
Yes.
Baphomet, yeah. Yeah, oh, okay. A long time ago, yes.
What
It's a
is...
symbol of a demon.
Devil.
A devil. Yeah, devil, right? Is he a devil or a demon?
It's a devil. Baphomet?
Oh, okay. I thought he was a demon. A symbol of a devil.
Well, that explains the look towards me.
A very specific and powerful.
Oh, I'm sorry. It is a demon.
Yeah, I thought it was a demon.
Yeah, I apologize.
Oh.
Baphomet is a demon. Yeah.
Because he looks like a minotaur thing.
Mm-hmm.
A
Yep.
demon, you say, Kothar?
Yeah.
Just your
Not
everyday
any.
demon?
No. Mm-mm. I'd say, I don't know. I've never seen him. I don't know if it even has a gender.
you know-
really?
If it is a lord,
Yes.
it all makes sense then.
So, Baphomet, as you know, Kothar, if you wish to tell them, is the Horned King and the Prince of Beasts. He is known for having his blood-red looking fur, the large hooven feet attached to him, and looking like a very crude and jagged and disgusting horned beast.
It's no, in the past they had pictures of him. Drawings, depictions of what they think he might look like. Bestial figure. He is definitely a ruler down there.
Then it all makes sense. These elves are making sacrifices to a demon lord for power.
Do some of these elves even know that, though? Does that elf in there even know that?
I'm not sure. But he
You're so
agreed,
willing to let
and
him?
he knew what he was getting himself into from what I saw. But it does seem like they were brainwashed a bit.
For how smart elves are, that man was a fool. Intelligence in books gives you no wisdom in life.
I agree. Knowledge only gets you so far.
Don't think torturing him was the necessary means to anything.
No, I don't think so either. However, I don't wish to attempt to convince the elder otherwise.
Do you think the people who have been captured weren't probably tortured and killed?
So you're
They were
saying that because they were tortured and captured, he should be tortured and captured?
To prevent more from being tortured and captured, yes. How old are you? How fucking old are you exactly? That old woman was talking about her great grandmother knowing you.
Much older than you, boy. And he's actually pissed right now.
Well, Gabe's pissed too. I mean, are Dragonborn in your world like up to 80 years old?
I mean, as best as you know, Dragonborns aren't viewed as one of the ancient races. That's mostly just elves. There's a couple of other races that age slower, gnomes, dwarves, but elves are usually the only ones that live a very long time.
Gable's nostrils flare, but he just grins his teeth and we'll have this discussion later.
Indeed.
As you are all relaxing in the tent, is there anything else you want to discuss?
And just walks out of the tent, like very intentionally by themselves.
Well, we have information, but we don't really have a direct path yet.
No. And I think going to Sutter and Fionn has many issues in it that will arise on different things, not just this.
We don't know how many elves this man has captured or encapsulated with his propaganda. It could be very dangerous to go there. I'm not sure if we could find anything in Weldon Top, possibly.
Well, you said that this organization is out of Woodentop, and Gabriel is not fond of that place, so I'd say, unfortunately, Sutter and Fionn might be a place we need to go to. It was bound to happen anyways. You have connections there, don't you?
I do. And it could be beneficial, connecting with some colleagues and getting some magical supplies.
It may help me in my goal as well. I need to find my ring.
Well, what about everyone else? Any input? Take it as a no.
That sounds like the best course of action, unless the old woman finds any more information from the assassin.
I don't think she cares for any information.
We need to find out more about this Glad Witch. We don't have much information, and I don't want to go into anything blindly. So maybe we should do some asking around when we get there, some reconnaissance, and figure out who all he's got under his wing.
The Blades will be there as well, yeah?
Yes, they might help as well.
We'll just have to be careful with who we have with us. We do draw attention, and going, from what we've been hearing, going there is going to be worse for sticking out.
Agreed, but it's a big city. We'll be cautious, but it shouldn't be too worrisome.
At least we know we've at least hopefully stopped the clans from attacking people around here.
Aye.
And we will probably need to put the task that Lucifer asked us for on hold for a while.
Agreed. Well, all right, it's settled then. Next stop, El Seldarin Fion.
Ready. Then, on that note, each of you take your time finding whatever amount of sleep you can under the protective boundary of the wilderness. Being able to slowly relax and wind down, but not terribly much. Still on edge from what just happened and what might be happening as you all rest in this territory. Solaris, you have to think deeply about what might be transpiring just even right now and how fanatical they sounded. It's hard to tell if they're going to back out. However, you can glean that they seemed particularly interested in Gabriel and Kothar and En. Now, before we all leave, Kothar, as you begin sleeping, one image just overlaps inside your mind as you manage to pass everything out past you. The image of Baphomet, a frightful vestige that you have never forgotten in all of your years. Doesn't he look quite a lot like En? That's where we're going to end tonight's session. So, everybody out there in Twitch and D&D land, thanks for hanging out tonight. Hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Players, thank you very much for playing. Everybody watching, thank you very much for watching. I hope you all have a fantastic week. See you again next time. Goodbye.